Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here and joining. Rob Bonta, California Attorney General. We're here today to announce the arrest of 3 major fentanyl traffickers involved in cartel activity and the seizure of 14 million. You heard that right, 14 million lethal doses of fentanyl worth a street value of $55 million. Before we dive in, I want to thank our law enforcement partners who are standing together, who are working hard to address this crisis, not just for this announcement, but every day and in the days ahead. First, Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman. Very proud to be working on this case and others in the past, in the future, but today we have an exciting announcement and we're proud to stand together. The Downey Police Department, incredible partner in this investigation, and our collective message is clear. It's consistent to those distributing illicit fentanyl throughout our communities and in the process inflicting pain, suffering, and death on Californians. We'll prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. Today is just one example. After a thorough investigation, my office's fentanyl enforcement program, alongside the Downey Police Department, seized 20 kilograms of powder fentanyl, 5 kilograms of heroin, 1 kilogram of cocaine, and 2 firearm suppressors. This is our biggest bust yet. This powder fentanyl would have been turned into pills. 14 million lethal doses of fentanyl pills to be exact. We all know one pill can kill. That's nearly $55 million worth of this deadly poison. There's no telling how many lives would be tragically cut short and how many communities would have been devastated had these drugs been distributed. And thankfully, this time we won't have to find out. But we have to remain relentless in our life-saving efforts to combat illicit fentanyl, especially because for Americans age 18 to 45, the leading cause of death is fentanyl overdose. No community is untouched by this crisis, unfortunately. Rural or urban, high or low income, Republican or Democrat, children or adults, everyone's been touched. That's why we're taking action to prevent fentanyl from tearing more families apart. In 2021, I established the statewide fentanyl enforcement program to detect, disrupt, and dismantle fentanyl criminal enterprises and prevent fentanyl from reaching our neighborhoods and our communities. Our investigative teams are spread throughout the state strategically, placed in San Diego, Los Angeles, and the Bay Area. So far, our fentanyl seizures have totaled approximately 14 million, plus fentanyl pills, over 6,000 pounds of powder, and over 483 arrests. And we're not stopping. Too many people are unaware that the illicit street drugs they're buying may be laced with a poison that can kill them with as little as 2 milligrams. That looks like a few grains of salt. It's why DOJ is working to strengthen the availability of life-saving overdose reversal drugs like naloxone, also known as Narcan. We've also taken steps to hold the opioid industry accountable for their role in causing this crisis. So far, we've secured more than $2 billion for California throughout nationwide settlements. So we're working on Wall Street as well as on Main Street to tackle this problem. While nothing can bring back the lives lost or erase the pain that fentanyl has caused loved ones, we're using that money for treatment and prevention strategies, and crucially, to keep more people from falling victim to these overdoses. Our work won't stop until the deaths from illicit fentanyl do. We'll continue to collaborate with our law enforcement partners who put their lives on the line every day to put a halt to this crisis. We'll continue to investigate and prosecute fentanyl traffickers. As AG, I'll continue to marshal the resources, expertise, and intelligence of California DOJ to put a stop to these dangerous crimes. I'd like to take a moment to thank my team, Sam Aguilar, Ray Diaz, Chief Stephen Woolery, who helped us get to where we are today. Thank you again to our partners in this investigation. We couldn't have done it without you. Today is a day of collaboration, of law enforcement partners working together hand in hand to deliver more public safety, more accountability, more justice to the people of Los Angeles and the people of LA. I'm grateful to be part of it. Before we open it up for questions, I'd like to turn it over to Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman.
Thank you very much, Attorney General Bonta. Thank you very much for your team, your fentanyl task force, the members that you brought here today. Thank you to Downey Police Chief Scott Loeffner in the tremendous work that the Downey Police Department did to investigate this case and seize 50 pounds of fentanyl. And to give you an idea what 50 pounds of fentanyl looks like, we had Attorney General Bonta describe the number of lethal doses that would represent. 14 million lethal doses of 2 milligrams or more. That is one lethal dose more than every resident of LA County, of the 11 million residents of LA County. This one seizure could have killed literally every resident in LA County by itself. And to give you an idea and a perspective, in 2024, across the U.S. Canadian border, there was less than 50 pounds of fentanyl seized. So they seized in one afternoon more fentanyl than was seized in the entire U.S. Canadian border in an entire year in one apartment. The scope of this problem is absolutely enormous. People have analogized fentanyl dealers, and I don't call them dealers. I call them fentanyl poisoners, because fentanyl is not about getting high. It is about actually killing you. The DEA estimates that 7 out of 10 of those counterfeit pills that are easily accessible by children on the internet contain lethal doses of fentanyl. That's your fake Oxycontin, your fake Vicodin, Xanax, Percocets that are easily accessible through the internet by children. And the Attorney General is right that the number one killer of 18 to 45-year-olds out there isn't car accidents, isn't anything else, it's fentanyl poisoning. Today, 6 to 7 homeless people in Los Angeles County will lose their life due to a fentanyl overdose. Let me say that again. Today, 6 to 7 people in LA County who are unhoused and homeless will lose their life to a fentanyl overdose. I've heard it analogized to these fentanyl dealers or poisoners that they are basically silent assassins. Imagine if we had a sniper that was sitting on the overpass for the 405 freeway, and that sniper every single day was picking off 6 to 7 Los Angelinos as they were driving their cars down the 405 South. We would shut down a good chunk of LA looking for that sniper. Now imagine there's 100 snipers on every freeway overpass in Los Angeles County. You would shut down pretty much all of Los Angeles County until you rounded up these 100 or so snipers. We have more than effectively 100 snipers or assassins dealing fentanyl poison every day in Los Angeles County. And as the Attorney General through his statewide task force has shown, up and down this entire state. I cannot understate the enormity of the effort that needs to go into enforcing the drug laws against these fentanyl poisoners and bringing a massive education effort to both students at the 5th grade level, at the middle school level, at the high school level, and to their parents to explain to them the perils that are involved in the drug supply. And when I say the drug supply, this is not the 1960s or 70s, kids. I hate to tell you. It means that your marijuana is being laced with fentanyl. The cocaine, the heroin, the methamphetamine, all these counterfeit pills have lethal doses of fentanyl. The odds of you actually taking one of these counterfeit pills and dying are worse than the odds of Russian roulette. In Russian roulette, there's a 6-shooter. You put one bullet in, it's 1 in 6 chance. This is 7 out of 10. So we're hoping that the message goes out from this enforcement effort today to the fentanyl poisoners out there that we're coming for you. We're going to prosecute you. And I have an incredible team here in the LADA's office, as the Attorney General has statewide. My team is represented today through our Chief Deputy, Stephen Katz, and the head deputy of our Major Narcotics Division, Juan Mejia. And right now in court is Deputy District Attorney Mark Inaba, who's actually dealing with these particular 3 defendants in court today. So again, I thank the incredible efforts of the Downey Police Department to seize this fentanyl in the way that they did it. I thank the Attorney General and his entire team as well. And I thank the members of the District Attorney's Office who will relentlessly and tirelessly prosecute fentanyl poisoners now and in the future. I now will turn it over to Downey Police Chief Scott Loeffner.
Good morning. Fentanyl is the deadliest drug distributed in the illegal drug market and has affected the Downey community with numerous overdoses and even deaths. Unfortunately, I have seen firsthand the devastating impacts fentanyl can have on these victims and their families. There's nothing worse than telling a family that their high school child has overdosed and passed away from taking fentanyl. This investigation shows the level of dangerous drugs that are being brought into our communities. When I was looking at coming out here and speaking to all of you, I looked and I've been informed about this case, and over 50 pounds of fentanyl. You're hearing that and you're thinking that's a lot. But as mentioned earlier, that's 14 million pills at a street value of $55 million. To say that this investigation has saved thousands of lives is an understatement. In addition to this fentanyl, we shouldn't look over the fact that 14 pounds of heroin and 10 pounds of methamphetamine were also seized. I'm extremely thankful for the work of our officers and detectives, led by Captain Villegas and Lieutenant Doyle, along with our partners from the DOJ. This was a great collaboration that helped bring this poison off of our streets. The charges being filed by District Attorney Hochman and his office shows that they stand beside law enforcement and will ensure those who sell, distribute, and manufacture fentanyl and other illegal drugs will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we can take any questions that you might have for any of the three of us. Yes.
Who were the three defendants and what were they charged with?
I'll let the person bringing the charges answer that question.
Certainly. The three defendants are Priscilla Gomez, 43 years old, from Torrance, California. She faces 3 counts of possession for sale of a controlled substance and 1 count of sale and transportation and offer to sell a controlled substance. Carlos Manuel Mariscal, age 35, of Huntington Park, faces 2 counts of possession for sale of a controlled substance, 1 count of possession of a silencer, and 1 count of unlawful possession of ammunition prohibited by a prior conviction. And the third defendant is Gustavo Omar Gomez, age 47, of Huntington Park. Gustavo Omar Gomez and Priscilla Gomez are siblings. Gustavo Omar Gomez faces 2 counts of possession for sale of a controlled substance, and as far as the maximum sentences they're each looking at, Mariscal faces 38 years and 8 months in prison. Priscilla Gomez faces 28 years, 8 months in prison, and Gustavo Gomez faces 24 years in prison.
Now, were these all part of one operation? The three were working together in one operation? And where did you find them and how? It sounds like they were all operating out of an apartment?
Yes, it was all part of one operation and part of an investigation conducted by the Downey Police Department. They initially found Priscilla Gomez as pursuant to a traffic stop that eventually led to an apartment in Downey. The officers investigated that apartment, eventually executed search warrant in the apartment, and found the illicit drugs that had been mentioned.
And what's the cartel connection? You mentioned a connection to the cartel. What cartel and what's that connection?
The cartel connection will be involved with the source of the drugs. That cartel connection will be developed as the evidence is presented in court.
The cartel from here, from Mexico?
From Mexico.
You believe that was where they were getting the drugs from?
Yes, we believe that ultimately the evidence in court will show that.
Any connections between these drugs and this operation and any of maybe the fentanyl deaths that have made news from Downey or elsewhere?
I don't believe we can do a direct connection between the defendants and certainly the fentanyl that was seized hasn't killed anyone, and that's the whole point. I think the Downey police chief is absolutely correct that we probably, through this investigation, saved thousands of lives. that could have otherwise been lost had this fentanyl and the other drugs hit the streets. With respect to whether or not these particular defendants distributed other types of illicit narcotics that resulted in deaths, that's under further investigation. And I also want to make clear when I talk about charges, any defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law, as are these three particular defendants. So even though they're charged with the crimes, the charges themselves are not evidence, and we intend to prove beyond a reasonable doubt their guilt in a court of law. Any other questions? Yes.
Single traffic stop that led to this bust?
Yes.
So what were they pulled over for? Just a traffic violation, speeding?
Correct. It wasn't speeding, actually. I believe it was tinted windows.
How did it go from a tinted window pullover to searching the apartment?
Again, the Downey Police Department was doing its job. They were conducting they did a traffic stop. Eventually, they were able to lead from that traffic stop to the apartment, which then led to a search warrant, which then led to the discovery and seizure of over 50 pounds of fentanyl, the heroin, the methamphetamine as well.
Were any substances originally found in the car at the traffic stop?
I'm sorry?
Were any substances found in the car at the traffic stop?
There were. There was apparently a kilo of fentanyl found during the traffic stop.
And when it comes to prosecution, is your work with parents of overdose victims informing at all the extent to which you plan to prosecute?
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time.
Is your work with parents of overdose victims informing the extent to which you plan to prosecute?
Absolutely. I mean, they would be prosecuted because they violated the law, but the emphasis of these particular prosecutions, as the Attorney General mentions, he has a separate fentanyl task force that's statewide. We in Los Angeles County, as one of my 6 task forces, have a fentanyl task force that's local and for Los Angeles County. As I've said before, and as the Attorney General and as the Downey Police Chief also have emphasized, the threat that fentanyl poses, not, by the way, just to our young people, while that's an enormous threat, but to everyone, is probably unprecedented. Fentanyl, because it is a silent assassin, it doesn't care, as the Attorney General pointed out, rich or poor, black, white, Asian, Latino. It doesn't care about your race or your ethnicity. It doesn't care about your religion. It certainly doesn't care about your political party. I've had a chance to meet with literally hundreds of parents over the course of the last 2.5 years that have lost sons and daughters to the scourge of fentanyl poisoning. So we are going to go after that with an enormous effort, and this is part of that effort. Any further questions?
Understand the narrative. So the woman, Priscilla, was pulled over for tinted windows. How were the drugs in the car discovered? Was it visible, or did something happen that they asked to search her car and she said yes? Or
The actual details that will be discussed in court as we present evidence, I will let the evidence in court speak to the full picture of the details. I wanted to share with you sort of an overview of what was happening at this point.
And then where are they being arraigned today? What court?
Department 30.
Here?
Here.
38.
Excuse me, Department 38, located downtown in LA. Any other questions? Yes, over there.
So you said evidence in court would show that fentanyl they possessed came from the cartel of Mexico. So at this time, do you have evidence to suggest that the fentanyl did come over the southern border?
That connection, like I said, will be developed in court, and I'd rather let the evidence that speak to it in court rather than speaking to it further here in this press conference. Actually, let me defer, if I might, to the Attorney General if he has additional comments on this.
No, thank you. I appreciate that we're both teaming up here to provide insight on the investigation and the charges. We had reliable information in the investigation. Our fentanyl enforcement team, along with the Downey Police Department, that led us to the courier, Priscilla Gomez, and then she was stopped in a traffic stop, as mentioned. She acknowledged the possession of some drugs, and also a canine was activated at the stop. In ongoing conversations with her, she led us to the apartment where we were able to identify the ongoing operation with the other defendants, and there were cartel elements at the apartment. I will leave it at that. And broadly speaking, much of the raw resources for the synthetic creation of fentanyl comes from China. It's pressed in Mexico and comes over our border. Broadly speaking, that's not the only way, but that is a well-known pattern. So the investigation is ongoing. We will continue to follow leads and see where it takes us. But today, obviously, is an important day and a good day for public safety in that we kept 14 million pills off the street that, as the district attorney rightfully pointed out, could kill 3 million more people than the entire population of LA County.
So it sounds like good
I can provide something later, but not at this time.
So just to clarify, sounds like you had information leading to this particular person rather than just like a random traffic stop for tinted windows?
We had some information, reliable information to know about Priscilla Gomez's role as a courier. And
To the traffic stop that
yes, prior. Any other questions for the district attorney?
And
Or-
what we'll
yes.
do afterwards for the Spanish-speaking media, Mr. Mejia will be able to answer questions in Spanish. So we'll do one-on-ones afterwards for Spanish-speaking media. If you have any particular questions or would like all or part of what we've been saying translated into Spanish. So
I have one more question on a different issue. For
if it's related to fentanyl, I'm happy to answer it. If it's related to pretty much anything else, I'm not going to answer it in this press conference.
maybe one-on-one later, potentially?
Potentially, but not in connection with this press conference. So thank you. All right.
Just what's an example of a cartel element? What would that be? What could that mean?
First, we don't want to give notoriety to cartels, so we generally have a rule of not speaking about their specific names. But as the DA said, we saw indicia of a Mexican cartel. Some cartels are known for certain decor, symbols, insignias. They were present.
The apartment where you found the fentanyl, was it under one of the three defendants' names, or was it them who leased the apartment?
And what's the address?
Yeah, so this
It might
level
be,
of
yeah.
this level of specificity we will be discussing certainly in court, but not here at this press conference today. All right, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And again, for Spanish-speaking media, we can meet in this room over here and do one-on-ones if you'd like. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you all.
Can I get a picture?
Yeah. You want it in front or on the side? Or?
In back.